What's good, everybody? Israel, and I'll come back at you another video. So this video, I'm going to dedicate this video for anyone out there who might be dealing with some insecurities, because I've had some supporters of mine in the past basically highlight that they're grateful for my videos and truly appreciate what I do. But I've had some people highlight that they've been afraid to get started because they're afraid of people judging them. And I'm here to tell you that people are gonna always have an opinion, and people are gonna judge you whether you like it or not. That's just how it is. Whether it's fair or unfair, right? People are gonna have their opinions, and they all have their opinions about you in real life, right? Friends, family, other people, strangers. Even if you walk down the street, right, someone's gonna look at you and probably develop an opinion about you based on how you look or how you dress. That is inevitable to happen. Some people are afraid to create content because they're afraid to put themselves out there. They're afraid, of how they look, how they're dressed, right? How they speak. I'm here to tell you, people will find flaws with everything about you. With anything and everything. People will nitpick, people find flaws with everything. But I'm here to emphasize, who cares, right? Who cares with what they have to say? And I want to make sure I emphasize that a lot, like the who cares part, because everyone has flaws and there's going to be flaws with everything. Perfection does not exist. I understand the desire to want to strive for perfection, right? I am the same way, but perfection itself does not exist. And the idea of waiting for things to be perfect, you're effectively just going to be waiting your whole life, because nothing is ever perfect. I can find a flaw with anything, and people can find flaws with everything, right? If I use myself as an example, because I'm hoping if maybe you're someone who feels insecure, right, then maybe you'll find some comfort with me speaking about myself, so you know that everything's gonna be fine, right? Me myself, there's people who have found flaws with how I speak. Some people say that I have an accent, that I have a New York accent. Some people say that that I sound Hispanic, right, because I am. That's okay. That's how I speak. That's how I was born. That's how I always operate, and this is how I'm going to continue operating in the future. Who cares, right? There's other people who, and people have made fun of me about this my whole life, right? There's people who have roasted me because I'm from New York City, right? Like it's a normal thing to get bullied in public school, right? And I appreciate it all, right? I've been made fun of my whole life of having a big forehead, and if you look at my head, it's actually a forehead, right? You have four fingers right here. People have always said that I've had a big head and a big forehead. To me, that's it. I don't really care, and it doesn't bother me, because that's how I was created. That's the perspective that God had for me, and that's how He created me, and that's how I look, and that's not going to change, right? And it is what it is. And I'm comfortable in my own skin. I'm confident in how I look. And I still like to think I'm a pretty good looking guy. So it really doesn't matter if I have a big forehead. I also know that I'm a smart guy. And even if I have a big head, well, then guess what? That means I have a big brain. And it makes sense because I'm a smart person. So yeah, so I'm going to give myself credit for that too. So it's things like that where it's just, people can find flaws with anything, and people have found flaws with me. And I personally don't care. And I want you to begin to be confident and comfortable in your own skin, because people are going to find flaws in you or faults in you and make fun of you. And it's just, who cares? You don't have to accept it as true, right? If there's some truth to it, like I know I have a big forehead, right? Relative to other people, that's probably the case. So there's some truth to it. So if someone says it, then it's like, I understand where you're coming from. However, it doesn't have to bother me, because I am confident with how I look, and it really doesn't bother me. And like, at the end of the day, who cares, right? I'm not going to let my fear of being judged or the flaws that other people point out about me to stop me from creating content, creating value, right? Like, some people, they want to create content, but they're so afraid of what people would think of them, or how people look at them or judge them. It's like, if you're creating content, the content is not for you, right? That's what you need to remember, right? You're creating content for other people. You're creating content to provide value for other people, to help move the world in the direction that you want to move it. So I'm definitely doing these videos for myself, for my younger self, right? I'm doing these videos because I appreciate these videos, because they're coming from the heart. So yes, I'm doing these videos for myself too. But of course, ideally you're doing the video for other people, right? To provide as much value as you can for someone else. That's why I create content, to provide value for someone else. So I can make up all these excuses, right? Like my accent, how I look, this and that, right? But all that is just going to delay my progress, or sometimes completely postpone my progress. And there's so many people who's been wanting to create content, create videos, do all these things, but they just are not, they're just worried about what other people have to say and the opinions of other people, and that's preventing them from ever even getting started. Don't let that bother you, right? Because it's like, if I use someone else's example, there might be a woman out there who's, not confident in her skin, or afraid of being judged, of people finding flaws about their appearance. And so they'll go out and get plastic surgery and try to look like a supermodel. It's like, you got plastic surgery to pretty much get rid of your insecurities, and yet people can still find flaws in that, because now you're look like a Barbie doll, and now you're made of plastic, right? So the moral of the story is this: that there can always be something to find. Anyone can always find the flaw in anything, right? I've never met a human being that's perfect. Never come across it. So even if you have the perfect body, the perfect this, the perfect that, there's always going to be something that someone can find a fault in, that someone can find a flaw, right? Like, some people may watch my videos and say, well, Joel, your videos are boring because you don't have any of these camera cuts, and you don't have the text on the screen, and you don't have, all the fancy lights, and your videos don't have any transitions. I do that on purpose because I want my videos to be authentic videos of me. I want the focus to be me, so that you can pay attention to what I'm saying, the message that I'm trying to deliver. So that is the purpose of my video. The purpose is for authenticity. And I want people who, watch my videos, who want to subscribe, who want to join the journey with me, personal development and growth journey. I want it to be people who are genuine, people who want the best for themselves, the best for other people, and the best for the world. And I understand that if I'm sharing value, that there are going to be people who are smart enough to understand that, to see the wisdom in it, and decide to stay and watch the video to the end, because they understand that I'm going to deliver them with value and gems that they probably can't find anywhere else, that's going to make a difference in their lives and impact their life for the better. There's going to be some people out there that just don't like the way my videos are. And if that's how someone feels, then that's okay. That's just their opinion. That doesn't have to be reality. It doesn't have to be truth, because it's not truth. It can't be truth, because where I'm at right now, I have over 800 subscribers. So that means there's over 100 people in this world that has seen the value in my videos and decided to subscribe because they want more value. They wanted to continue learning and growing. So that means that people do appreciate my videos. So if I'm happy with my videos and happy with my product, then I can keep it the same way, right? This is what you guys need to remember. Like, I want you, if you have, if you feel insecure, right, about certain things, I want you to begin feeling secure and begin feeling confident about yourself. You're creating content, worry less about all of the other variables that aren't important, right? Forget delaying or potentially postponing creating content, or sharing your true self, or sharing who you are because of what other people think or what other people say, right? But you need to remember, if people say nasty, mean things, then you need to remember that all it is just a reflection of them, because it came from them, it came out of their mouth. So that means that they had that thought came into the mind. And it could be because their mind is rancid, or their mind, they're so used to finding insecurities and flaws within themselves that's why they go out of their way to spot the flaws in other people. That's why it's so easy for them to spot flaws in other people, because they see the flaws in themselves. That's what it all is, right? That's how it all is, right? So if you began operating with that same mindset and that mentality, if someone says something mean or insults you, right, you can just look at it as that is a reflection, that it doesn't have to be truth to you. You don't have to accept it. When ideas come your way, or information, right, or opinions from other people, when they arrive on your table, you have the ability and the power to accept or reject it. You don't have to accept it as your reality, right? Because if I use an example, if let's just say you're 6'5", and I try to make fun of you and say, oh, look at you, you're so short, you'll probably either laugh or look at me crazy because you know that's not true, right? You don't agree with it because you're 6'5", right? You're the beyond the top 1% as far as height in humans, right? And so you'll look at me like I'm crazy because you know that that's not true. That same idea, that same logic applies to everything else. You don't have to accept other people's opinions if they're pointing out your flaws as being the truth. And you don't have to let it get to you. You don't have to, right? Like, you don't have to postpone what it is that you want to do or delay what it is that you want to do because you're insecure about all these things. Everyone has flaws. Everyone, right? Like, one thing that stopped me and slowed me down from recording videos is because I was originally insecure about my background setup, because I used to think, well, what would people think if I just record myself doing videos in my bedroom with a chair right here that is, basically scratched off, which I don't even know how it got to that point, right? Because at most I'm only putting the back of my head on the chair. But look at the chair, right? Like, obviously this is far from a brand new chair. And so I would think, what are people gonna say or judge me about my setup, me recording videos in my bedroom? Then eventually I realized that no one cares and that everyone just appreciates the value and the message that I'm delivering. And so that's when I realized that that was just a silly idea that I had in my head, and I'm just gonna keep going with this, right? I'm like to use myself as an example so that you guys know that this is genuine, that this is me being truthful, right? People are always going to have an opinion. People are always going to say something about you. People are always going to find flaws with you and with everything that you do. This is a fact. This is inevitable, right? It is what it is. Are you going to allow that to dictate your life? Are you going to put your own joy, your own happiness? Are you going to thwart your own creation or your own ability to create? Are you going to put that on pause or potentially postpone it for the rest of your life because you are fearful of what other people have to say? And what you have to remember is that a lot of these people who have these negative opinions don't know anything about you and likely don't even care about you. So why are you caring about them? Why are you caring about what they have to say or putting so much weight on what they have to say, right? If there's no truth to it, it doesn't matter. If it's constructive criticism, then you can look at the criticism itself and find a way to improve, right? Because then that benefits you. But if it's just nonsense, then just treat it as such, as just nonsense. And even if you have all these flaws, well, then guess what? The flaws that you think you have is what's going to make you unique. It's what's going to make you stand out, so it actually works in your favor. Like, I've been told by people that I stutter, and I know from time to time I stutter. It is what it is. You may not have noticed it, but maybe if you watch a bunch of my videos, you'll probably hear it at some point. It happens sometimes because sometimes I get tongue twisted, or other times I speak probably before I formulated my sentences in my mind and I get ahead of myself. That happens. Some people might hear a stutter in a video and then stop and laugh and then click away. Or they might decide to write something in the comments like, oh, you stutter, whatever. Me, I know it happens, so it is what it is. And two, I don't really care because that's how I speak. And once again, it is what it is. That's likely not going to change. If it doesn't change, then so be it, right? That's not going to stop me from doing what I do and recording videos, right? I'm going to be, even if I record a video and I stutter hundreds of times, it is what it is. I'm going to be happy with my work, and I'm still going to move forward because I understand my goal, my mission, and what I'm after. So I'm not going to let that stop me. I want you to have that same mentality too. If there's something that you want to do, right? Stop allowing other people to dictate, whether you do something or not. Just go out and do it. People are going to have their opinion. Who cares? There's going to be people who are naysayers and people who may not like what you do. And there's going to be people who absolutely love what you do, who are just surprised that it took them so long to finally come across your content or your business or your product or what it is that you do, right? There's going to be some people who absolutely fall in love with who you are as a person because you have this great personality. You are a genuine person. You're positive, and you have this magnetic energy that they just can't find anywhere else. And they're wondering where you've been this entire time. That's right. And that will make you you. So you have to understand your flaws make you who you are. And everyone has their own flaws. It doesn't matter how perfect someone looks. It doesn't matter Someone can look like a supermodel and they can have a flaw in their personality because they can have a horrible personality. Or someone can look like their life is perfect, right? That they're living the Cinderella story, that they have, you know, everything you could possibly ever imagine in their life. And you can still find the flaw with that person, right? Like everyone has flaws because I've never come across a perfect person. So what you need to remember is this, that people find flaws with everything that you do, with everything about you. Is like, is who cares? Who cares? Because what you need to remember is this: you can accept it or reject it. It does not have to be truth. It does not have to be your truth. And if someone has something mean or rude or whatever to say about it, you need to remember that all that is just a reflection of them. That there are a lot of folks out there who they don't have anything better with their going on in their lives, and so they just look to try to nitpick other people. Right? That's reality. There's folks who might just be jealous of what you're doing in the position that you're in, and they just might want to tear you down because they wish that they were in your shoes. Someone says something rude or nasty, all that is just a reflection of them because they thought of that idea in their mind and they also said it. It has nothing to do with you, and it doesn't have to have any truth, right? You can look at that person and laugh and smile knowing that that's just a reflection of them, because they can choose to be happy, they can choose to be positive, and they can choose to say something nice. And if they chose not to say something nice and chose to say something mean or something rude, then that's on them. That doesn't have to be on you. So I hope if you're someone who's probably been dealing with some insecurities or some worries, or just needed a sign to just go out and get started, just go do that, right? Just go start, right? Stop putting your life and your passion and your dreams on hold because of the opinions of other people, from, these people who probably don't even know who you are, probably don't really care about you, right? You're going to find the people that are important to you, the people who are meant to be in your life. You're going to find your community, you're going to find your tribe, right? And all you want to do is just put one foot in front of the other and just keep going. If there's constructive criticism, then make the adjustments and improving it better. But if not, just continue at it. Continue with whatever it is that you want to do, and do what makes you happy. Because at the end of the day, like how someone said, right? For 99.9% of people, 200 years from now, you're probably not going to be remembered. And, what's going to be most important is whether you enjoyed your life, and if you made life fun for you, and if you live life beyond your wildest dreams and imagination, and hopefully what you do in your life also positively impacts the lives of other people. So for the majority of the people, right, from 200 years from now, people aren't going to remember you. People aren't going to, right? So it really doesn't matter, right? Like, just do what makes you happy and do what's right. Do what's in alignment with your true self, with your morals, right? Operate with integrity, right? Do all the right things, and just make sure you do it in a way that makes you happy. And if anyone has an opinion, then screw them. Who cares, right? Just do things how you want to do them. Do what makes you happy, and just go out and pursue your passion and your dream, because I want to see you win. I want to see you at the top of the mountain. And, I just want you to be living your best life, and to be doing the best at what you do, and have it be something that you enjoy. So that wraps up the video. Enjoy the video. Do leave a like and subscribe, as we're on the road to a million subscriber, guys. So once again, it's Joel, and I'm out. I'll see you guys for the next video.